The winner is Qatar.
Today we celebrate, but tomorrow the work begins.
Come on. Here to the 2026 World Cup. Come on. It makes sense for everyone. Here we go, Seth. That's it. Thank you. Cheers, Seth. It's all there.
And concerning the World Cup, you said you're looking forward to the German guests. Are you also looking forward to homosexual German guests, or do they have to stay home?
Listen, everybody's welcome in Doha. We do not stop anybody from coming to Doha with any different backgrounds, any different belief. Qatar is a very welcoming country, and the World Cup is a great opportunity for people from different parts of the world to come and experience our culture. We will not stop anybody from coming, visiting, and enjoying the football. We all live in one planet, but each of us have different cultures. We welcome everybody, but also we expect and we want people to respect our culture.
ताक लगली 4 दिन तक लकै तब भेटली सर सब रह लाश उसके गुदा उदा सब झेड़ झाड़ गेल आवे वाला ये रहै नहीं तो वही मटिया देलकी मुंह नहीं देखली सर
कंपनी में काम दियो लेबर को ईटा पत्थर उठाने को 50 केजी 60 केजी बोरी में रमल कसेर
गेले के कहल कि बोलू घर में बोलू झाड़ू बहारू करते तो लेबर में ध देलकी सर आ लेबर में ईटा पत्थर उठावे लागी हाय सर कहे बोल गर्मी बड़ लगी बड़ धूप ने बेलचा चलबे बोल हमरा मंगा ले तो हम कोई मदिर के वो कहियो घरे भेजा देते हम अपन घरे कमाबे खाबे नहीं भेजलक सर
यो पनि एउटा सानो बनाएर मैले पठाएको थियो मदिरको घरकोमा कि एउटा भिडियो सानो बनाएर त्यसको घर फ्यामिलीको पठाउन तर के दिएन हामीसँग सबै रेकर्ड छ सबुत छ मेरो दिदीको एउटै खाता छ जसले कोही दियो होला त्यो खातामा रेकर्ड हुन्छ तर आजसम्म कोही कसैलाई हाल खबर कोही बुझ्न पनि आएन
There are universal values that should define football. Values such as respect, dignity, trust, and courage. When we represent our nation, we aspire to embody these values.
As PFA members, we understand the power of collective bargaining and the fundamental rights of all workers to form and join a union.
Before players had won these rights, their careers in Australia were characterised by the absence of respect and dignity.
It is for these reasons we must speak about the situation in Qatar.
Over the last 2 years, we have been on a journey to understand and learn more about the situation in Qatar.
We are not experts, but we have listened to groups such as Amnesty, FIFA, the Supreme Committee, the International Labour Organization, FIFPro, and most importantly, the migrant workers of Qatar.
This year's FIFA World Cup in Qatar will be the 22nd edition of the tournament since its inception in 1930. But there is something different about this year's World Cup. This year's World Cup in Qatar is by far the most controversial World Cup ever, and the tournament has not even started. And these controversies have been brewing since the past 12 years. You wanna know what these controversies are? Watch the video till the end and let's figure them out together. Biggest sporting event starts on the 20th of November when Qatar, the host nation, takes on Ecuador in the first ever match of the tournament. Now, football is the most watched and the most played sport in the world, and arguably the best sport on the planet. There's no debating that. Since its inception, the footballing world has produced some immensely talented players and tactically genius managers who have graced the footballing world over hundreds of years. The world's game is yet to begin its premier competition, the 2022 FIFA World Cup, which will see 32 teams giving their all for the sport's most coveted prize. Now, there are a number of controversies related to the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. The first controversy goes all the way back to 2010, when Qatar became the first Arab nation to host the FIFA World Cup by beating the United States by 14-8 votes. And immediately allegations of FIFA officials being bribed by Qatar began to surface. Now, FIFA conducted their own internal investigation into this but found no evidence of any corruption. I mean, why would they? An interesting point, however, is that ex-FIFA president Sepp Blatter, who supported Qatar's bid when Qatar won the right to host the World Cup, has since publicly come out to say that it was a mistake. Another controversy is the weather of Qatar. The World Cup is usually played from June to July, but since Qatar is a desert country, this year's World Cup is being played from November to December, since temperatures around that time will be, somewhat better. And also Qatar has assured FIFA that all stadiums would have internal cooling technology to provide best playing conditions for players and for supporters. But sport doctors have already warned players about the lack of body rest and recovery time that is needed between match days due to these high temperatures. And 7 out of the 8 stadiums that will be used for the World Cup have been built from scratch. And one already built stadium underwent major renovation. One of the biggest controversy that has clouded this premier tournament is the allegation of the deaths of migrant workers who died leading up to the World Cup in Qatar. Qatar has a population of less than 3 million, which meant that migrant labor were needed from other countries to develop stadiums and prepare infrastructure for the World Cup. Now, Qatar has an age-old kafala system or a sponsorship system, which is prevalent across the Gulf Cooperation Council. Now, this system allows Qatari individuals or businesses to confiscate workers' passports and prevent them from leaving the country. This system is also termed as a modern-day slavery system. Now, reports suggest that the number of deaths in the 12 years leading to the World Cup ranges from a dozen to several thousands. The International Trade Union Confederation puts the figure at around 7,000 deaths. The main reason of these deaths were, road accidents, falling from tall structures, exposure to mechanical forces, and self-harm. While the Qatari authorities maintained that only 3 work-related deaths and 34 non-work-related deaths happened during the preparation of the World Cup, and that Qatar has also partially dismantled the kafala system. These are the 2 official kits of Denmark, which are designed by Hummel for this year's World Cup. These kits are toned down and badges and logos visibility has been reduced as a form of protest against the death of migrant workers. In addition to this, Denmark also has an all-black kit which represents the color of mourning. Then comes the LGBTQ controversy. Qatar's Sharia law means same-sex sexual activity has punishments ranging from 7 years in jail to death by stoning. Usually, non-married couples also face punishments for engaging in any intimacy. In their defense, however, Qatar authorities have stated that they will not change the country's laws on LGBTQ for the World Cup. But again, no fan would be discriminated against during the tournament on any grounds, and fans can wave rainbow flags and even hold hands without any issue. On the other hand, however, there has been reports that same-sex couples are not able to book hotels, as some hotels are refusing accommodation to same-sex couples, and some will only allow them to book their hotel as long as they do not show publicly that they are gay. England's captain Harry Kane has plans to wear the One Love armband, a campaign that was started by the Netherlands to promote diversity and inclusion and to, stand against discrimination. A group of European countries, including England, Belgium, France, Germany, and more, are also supporting this initiative. The Australian team also came out with a very powerful video supporting the migrant workers and LGBTQ rights in Qatar. Current FIFA president Gianni Infantino reportedly sent a letter to all 32 nations and emphasized about being apolitical and not making political statements during the tournament. And to be fair, in my opinion, the press has no right to ask or demand players about their opinions on this whole fiasco. I mean, this tournament was awarded to Qatar by members of FIFA and not by these players. And this was done 12 years ago. Now, journalists expecting players to make political statements to rile up more controversy and debate is just not fair to these players and to their mindsets. Also, governing bodies like FIFA and UEFA should reflect on these shortcomings and scandals, and our beautiful game of football should never again be clouded with migrant labor deaths, bribery scandals, and corruption. Qatar reportedly spent $229 billion, not million, but 229 billion, in order to prepare the infrastructure of this year's World Cup. In comparison, it is 16 times more than what Russia, who hosted the last FIFA World Cup in 2018, spent, which was $14.2 billion. In 2017, Qatar's finance minister revealed that Qatar was spending almost $500 million every week for World Cup preparations. Imagine. Also, for the public relations, Qatar paid David Beckham more than $200 million to become their brand ambassador for the whole campaign. Beckham was heavily criticized for being greedy and profiting off from the deaths of migrant workers. People said the UNICEF ambassador cared more about money than ethics. This leads to the ultimate question. What exactly is the true cause of this year's World Cup in Qatar? A number of teams and athletes have already made statements leading up to the World Cup, like Germany and Denmark. And since there has already been so many issues and controversies leading up to this World Cup, you can only imagine what's in store once the prestigious competition begins on 20th November. And in fairness, it's not the first time that FIFA or sport in general has, come under scrutiny. And corruption and controversies are prevalent across all walks of life across the world. That is common knowledge. But sometimes sport is used to distract people from more pressing matters. It's called sports washing. It's exactly like brainwashing, but through sports. Hitler did it through the 1936 Olympics in Germany. The military dictatorship in Argentina did it during the 1978 FIFA World Cup in Argentina. So Qatar isn't the first. And as far as the fans are concerned, they know that FIFA and UEFA are corrupt, but they don't care about the infighting or politics within FIFA. They care about watching, playing, and supporting the greatest game on earth. They care about their football heroes, about their clubs, about their national teams. But we should care, because if we don't, then one day we may lose our beautiful game to all these unethical and corrupt sports organizations. So this was all for today's video. Let me know in the comment section what you think about the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and like and share the video. Also, there is a new docu-series out on Netflix, FIFA Uncovered. Go and watch that and you'll get a very clear picture of how FIFA has operated and corrupted the biggest game on earth over the years.